I just filmed that whole thing with no sound on. Here we go again. Hey friends, I'm Jennifer, and this is episode 15 of the Real Knitting Podcast, and this is my second time around filming this. I'm starting to get a little warm. Throw this off. Anyway, stick around to the end because I have made a new freebie for you, and I'll tell you all about it. What I was wearing before I got too hot is my variation of a night shift. Andrew Mowry did a whole series of night things. And this is my variation. And the reason it's my variation is because I did not buy the shawl pattern. Now, before you get upset on her behalf, which I would too, I didn't steal anything. I bought the sweater pattern, but I realized I didn't quite have enough yarn to do a whole sweater for myself. So I decided to do a top-down triangle. Started up here. And this is really scrappy. So the barber pole looking yarn, the different ones here, it does change as it goes along. But the barber pole yarn is mill ends from a mill in South Carolina. And then the rest of it is just leftover bits. You can see I've got some green down in there, just a little bit of everything. And then I finished it off with an I-cord edge. So I copied her stitch pattern and kind of the idea of shifting through the different colors and just made myself a big sloppy shawl. And I love this guy. It's pretty huge. It's very warm. So this is a sport weight, but because it's the two layers, it's pretty hot. So I just fold it like that, put the point kind of in the front, and then I usually take my little tails and just tuck them under, and it gives me this bandana-like cowl, and it's so warm. I found, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I found that if I can keep this part of my body warm, just like my sternum, my chest, then everything else stays a little warm all the time. So, that being said, this sucker's coming back off. So that is a variation of Night Shift by Andrew Mowry. All right. I do have a half-finished object. I don't know what's going on with my hair. You're just going to have to ignore me. Sorry. Half-finished object. This is a simple top-down heel flap and gusset. I did a little 2x2 rib, and this is an Eye of Partridge heel. You can see that beautiful texture right there. But it's just simple. This is Bamboo Pop in the Overcast colorway. I love the way it's striped up. Self-striping yarn is great, especially when you're talking about gifts. I intend this to be a Christmas gift. It is a little too big for me. I like to use Kramer, and not Kramer. We'll talk about Kramer in a minute. Carbons. These Carbon Steel by Knitter's Pride. These are a size 0. And I don't break these. My hands are really strong because of what I do for work, and I tend to break things. I'm also a little bit of a bull in a china shop, yeah. But I use these tiny little needles so that I get a really tight stitch gauge. But this is a 72 stitch sock. So it is a little bit too big for me in the ankle area, a little bit too big for me through here, but it should be just perfect for the intended giftee recipient. That's the word. I think she's gonna love it because they are super soft, and this particular person is very knit worthy. And also, I have started on sock number 2. I have just a little baby sock here, and I have lost some of the stitches, so I'm just gonna pinch here and be real careful and deal with that later. But I knit back and forth. Anytime I'm knitting in the round, I like to knit back and forth first. This is a trick that my teacher taught me because there's it's way easier to not twist if you do it this way. I've got a little video, I'll pop a card in here, but it's way easier to not twist if you just knit back and forth for a little while and then join in the round. Just, you know, just a few rows can really make a difference. So there's sock number 2. And my thing about not getting second sock syndrome, first, I don't really get second sock syndrome because I want to wear it. But I also cast on my second sock immediately, and I like to keep my little sock bag in my purse so that it's always with me. So I have this new little sock bag. This was made by my new friend Heather. Heather was one of my knitting students, and she made these sweet little bags for everybody in the class. I don't think she's got an Etsy shop, but if she does, I will absolutely let you guys know. But it's a simple drawstring bag with, I love how she put the 2 colors on here, a nice boxed bottom, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful, and it is the perfect size. You know I love my Cozy Up Knits bag. It has been my purse bag for a long time, but this one is significantly smaller, so I'm enjoying being able to just tuck it down in my purse. I think I could probably get 2 balls of yarn in here if I really wanted to, but it's just perfect size for 1 ball of yarn and my little sock project in there. So there we have that. That is my hoe, my half-finished object. I don't have any faux, but I do have some whips. For the first time since, I guess it was the end of August when I went to our retreat, I started messing around with my locker hooking again. I know this isn't knitting, but it's fiber, so here we go. This is going to be a chair pad. A chair pad, and this is locker hooking. So it's a little different than the latch hooking that you did when you were a kid because it has a locker yarn. So just any inexpensive yarn. This locker yarn locks in all of our little bumps and keeps them right where we want them to be. I quit working on this because after retreat, I had such a headache and neck strain, and I really think it was a combination of things, but this really did not help. Locker hooking is really hard on my neck and shoulders. So I did a little bit the other day, and then I just had to take a little break, and then I could do some more. I tried using t-shirt yarn made from t-shirts from my old yoga studio. I was so excited to do this, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put a little of the studio in here, and it's just gonna be a nice little treat to sit on. And I started with that t-shirt yarn, and y'all, it has no give. Well, maybe it does, but not much. But 3 strands of t-shirt yarn have no give. And within about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches, I could tell there's no way I was gonna make it all the way around this thing. So I pulled it out, which is easy to do in locker hooking, and started, I think I started this green one, and then was able to do some more of this blue. So the blue is free stuff I got off the free table at retreat. The purple is hand-dyed roving. It's got some yarn in there with it, but hand-dyed roving by my friend Louise Nuttall of Nuttall Fiber Arts. And you may have heard of Louise because Tennessee Craft just named her as one of their 2023 Master Artists for their apprentice program, which is pretty exciting. People can travel and study under Louise next year. So if you are interested in dyeing, weaving, all that kind of stuff, I will link below how you can get to that. But Louise is pretty amazing, and we're proud to have her right here in little old East Tennessee. And then this pretty green and gold and gray variation here. That is hand dyed by another different of mine, Carrie Jarman from Juniper Moon. Carrie Jarman from Junebug Farms in Jonesboro, Tennessee. And Carrie does some beautiful color. Her dye work is featured at the Makers Market in Jonesboro. And if you want to see her stuff, follow her on Facebook and Instagram. I'll link to both those ladies. But we are so blessed to have both of them right here close by. So there's my locker hooking. And I'm going to put some more pink in there. I've got several different types, several different rovings, mostly from Louise and Carrie, to throw into there. But this is going to be a long-term project because it does hurt my hands and shoulders so much. I've also been working on my wonderful Wallaby pattern. So the last time I talked to you guys, I'd done quite a bit. It's a bottom-up pattern, and I think I've done 6 inches or so of the wonderful Wallaby. This sweater right here. Where's the front? I'm getting ready to teach a class, my first sweater class at our local yarn shop, and it's got a pocket and it's got a big hood. I've not knit this one before, but I'm super excited about it. But I had chosen Barocco Wizard, and I just wasn't happy with the color. It was stripier than I wanted. It was kind of a greeny, yellowy color, which looks great on some people. It looks really bad on me. I looked sick. Yeah, so I kept the one that I'd been swatching with because I had washed and dried and all that sort of thing. But I did return my other skeins, and I chose... I chose this gorgeous Noro. So now I'm not really a fan of Noro yarn. It's too stripy, too colorful, too wild for me usually. But this is totally my jam. So Mr. Noro died recently. Did you guys hear about that? Yeah. Pioneer in all of the fiber arts. Anyway. So this particular Noro, this is Kakigori, K-A-K, I'm not gonna spell that, Kakigori. And it is primarily cotton with silk. And I wasn't sure how this was gonna knit up. It's even a little wild for me in the ball. I love the semi-solid variegated navy in the background, but the pops, I was kind of wondering about them. Plus, it is kind of pricey. These are 200-gram cakes, and they've got 600 meters in them. So it doesn't say how it's going to knit up. It says that it's going to knit up 19 to 21 stitches in 4 inches, and I needed about 18 stitches in 4 inches. So I went ahead and blocked a big, pretty good size swatch and measured it multiple times. And honestly, I got gauge. I got 18 stitches to 4 inches. And so I'm not modifying the pattern. Now, I'm trusting my gauge because it relaxed after I blocked it, after I washed and blocked it. And let me tell you, I intend to wash this sweatshirt. It's just like a comfortable pullover sweatshirt sweater, and I intend to wash it at least by hand and lay it out flat and dry, and that cotton just relaxes and opens. So I went with it. We shall see. But here it is, and it's knitting up really well. If you look at it from far away, it almost looks like the night sky. I'm really enjoying this. I think it's going to be something that I'm going to wear a lot. I've already modified the pattern, of course, because I do. I split the hem. So in order to do a split hem, because this is a bottom up, instead of casting on all the stitches at once, I cast on half the stitches and worked back and forth in the ribbing for a while. Then I cast on the other half, back and forth in the ribbing. And then when I got to the right place, I just joined them in the round. Now, when this sweater is finished, part of my finishing process, I will come back and reinforce right here, just above the split at the hips, because it's going to take a lot of wear and tear and pull right there, and I just want to make sure that it is reinforced and safe and good. But I am right at the part where I need to start the kangaroo pocket. And I'm really interested in how they do this because it's a little bit different. Years ago, I did this sweater. Try not to shake the table. Oh, shook it anyway. I did this sweater. This is a top-down flax, and like you can see all my little ends are coming out, but a little sweater for my little boy. And I just sort of added a pocket on. I think I followed the directions from the Sweater Workshop by Jacqueline Fee. But it did not, I don't know if it was me or the directions, I don't know. But if you look right here, that just looks so sloppy. So I'm very interested to see how this one goes. It's almost like comparing apples to oranges though, because the WALLABY is bottom up and this was top down. So on the WALLABY, all of that is going to come right down here by the ribbing, and so it may not show at all. I also made a mistake on this one. I only did, I don't know, what is that, like 3-4 stitches here on the side, and so it rolls in. There's a high acrylic content in this yarn. It is Kramer yarns. This is their Perfection Worsted, and I really do like it for my littles because if needed, which it's often needed, I can just toss this in the washing machine and lay it out to dry, and it does great. It doesn't felt, and my kids can still wear their little things. Plus, it's really affordable. You don't end up spending a ton of money if you get the Kramer Perfection Worsted and knitting something for your kiddo. So there's that. But that's an old one. Oh yeah, my WALLABY is living in this little 31 bag that I picked up at a yard sale because it's kind of who I am. I'm cheap, y'all. Oh, I am wearing a Texas A&M shirt. I did my master's degree at Texas A&M. Giga Maggies. All right, so I did get some other new things. Candace at Yarntiques was having a sale, and so I picked up the Knitter's Handy Book of Patterns by Ann Budd, and this is handy, especially for designers. And then also our library was having a sale, and I looked at the knitting books. They were kind of picked over, but their magazines were 6 for $1. So I loaded up. I have these by my bed because at night I'm trying to not get so much blue light in my eyes, trying to not have as much screen time late at night. So I'm trying to have something paper to look at, whether it's a book or a magazine or whatever. So I got a bunch of these Knit Scene. I got some Love of Knitting, and whatever this one is, I don't know if this is knit.1, knit.l. Help me out. I have no idea. But it's super cute. I love the embroidery on this sweater. So I will just enjoy flipping through these and getting ideas and learning. So they're going to hang out right beside the bed. That's all my new stuff. Let's do a little bit of yoga, and I want to talk to you about kind of where I'm going next with this channel, with yoga, with knitting, all the things. So we're just going to do some simple wrist stretches while we talk. So the first one, we may have done this before. We're going to grab the fingers and just gently pull them back. So my education is in exercise physiology. I do have a master's degree, as I said, and yoga therapy. So I am an RYT 500 registered yoga teacher, like the highest certification through the Yoga Alliance. Then I also have a yoga therapist certification through the International Association of Yoga Therapy. Anyway, I'm a yoga person, right? So we're going to grab the fingers and we're going to pull down and back towards your elbow. Now, I absolutely love, one of my favorite things is at retreat every year, I get to teach knitting, yoga for knitters. I guess I could teach knitting for yoga people, but anyway, yoga for knitters is one of my favorite things to teach. So now let's grab the thumb and we're just gonna pull gently down toward the forearm. Don't worry about if yours touches or not. I know I have freaky wrists. So we're just stretching here and pulling down, and then we're gonna pull back. So I was speaking with a friend and she said, you know, it would be amazing if you had a yoga for knitters course online that people could purchase and then really understand what you do, how you do it, and why. The why behind the yoga for knitters. Let's do the other hand. So we're just stretching back like this. So I am putting together a yoga for knitters online course. I'm so excited about this. And it's going to talk about common injuries that knitters have. Let's say yoga for knitters, crocheters, makers, but very common injuries. And we'll deal with hand stuff. We will deal with muscles. We'll do yoga classes. I'll have some classes that will be available for download. Actually, let's do the thumb too, so that you can keep them and pick them up and use them whenever. I'm hoping to be able to get them into modules, so you could do a little of this and a little of that just whenever you need them. Also, it's going to include a segment on anatomy. It's going to be just basic anatomy, talking about the muscles, the bones, and the fascia, and how all of that affects how we knit and how we feel when we're done knitting. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm talking a little fast. I'm hoping to have this out no later than January 1st, but it may come out sooner. I have a place to film. I have no idea what that noise was. Everything I have is turned off. Anyway, I have a place to film, and it's my old studio. I can't believe the landlords are going to allow me to do that. I'm really excited about that. And I've been working so hard on this, you guys. So if you have ideas, if you have something that you would like for me to teach in that course, please let me know. What hurts you and how can I help you through yoga? I've got a little bit of yoga philosophy in there. We'll have a little meditation. But tell me what you need. I love helping people through yoga. Speaking of, I have also created a new freebie for you, for anybody who is on my email list, and I've got a link to sign up below. Anybody who's on my email list can get a free meditation that I just recorded and put together for you all. It's called Yoga for Creativity. And it's called, I'm too excited. It's called Meditation for Creativity, and it is all about the sacral chakra, which is located in your low belly. And the sacral chakra, or Svadhisthana, is the seat of our creativity. And this little meditation is like 13, 14 minutes, and it talks you through understanding Svadhisthana and how it applies to the body, how it applies to our work, ways to get Svadhisthana aligned and functioning properly. I'm so excited. I played it last night for my husband because I wanted a little feedback. And I kind of got feedback in a way because he fell asleep. So it's relaxing. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. It's just a freebie down below. And you can also pick up, if you're a newsletter subscriber, you can also get a free Blue Ridge Mitts pattern. One of my first patterns, and you can see the mountains and the sun on here. It's just a little simple little chart pattern, and I also have the full mitten is included in that pattern. Freebies. My goal is to have a bunch of free stuff to hand out, just to give you an idea of kind of how I teach. Speaking of how I teach, I am so excited. In February, I'm going to be teaching yoga for knitters at the South Carolina Knitting Guild's Knit In, and that's spelled I-N-N, like hotel kind of in. But it's the scknittingguild.com, and their registration for that is about to open. They've got all kinds of instructors coming to teach knitting tools, techniques, and all the things, and I get to teach yoga for knitters there. So check out their website, maybe sign up and come see me if you're around Greenville, South Carolina in February. Also coming up, and I'm not part of this, but I intend to video. I like getting footage of things. So I intend to go to SAF, Southeastern Animal Fiber Festival. It is in North Carolina at the Western North Carolina Agricultural Center, October 21st through the 23rd. So that's today's Friday. It's a week from today, and it's going to be amazing. It always is. There's so many vendors, and I love to go around and feel the different yarns. It's a great opportunity to learn about how different yarns behave, how they feel under the hand, what you can use them for. There's all kinds of beautiful samples that you can touch and feel and grab, and learn about dyers that maybe you're not familiar with, or even techniques that maybe you're not familiar with. They have some classes. I think I saw that most of the classes still have spots if you want to get in on those. But it's just like a week away, and I will take my little phone and I will take some video, and I will make a little video for you guys so you get to sample SAF if you're not in our area. It's right outside of Asheville, Black Mountain kind of area, and so it takes me a little while to get over there, but well worth the drive, and it's usually a beautiful drive, especially right here at the end of October. Our leaves are popping out. It's finally sweater weather. Love East Tennessee. But the big thing that's going on with me right now, and this is huge, our adoption is finally going down. I've been saying this for a long time, but it is. So in foster care, if you are able to adopt a child after they've been in care for 18 months, that's really fast. So both of our boys, our first boy, we adopted him one day after his second birthday. We got him at 3 weeks old. This little boy, this John, I got him at 3 days old, straight out of the hospital, and he's been my little baby ever since. He turned 2 back in the summer, and our adoption is happening on Halloween, and we're so excited. And he doesn't really understand what that means, but he knows it's something to be happy about, and he knows he's loved, and that's what's most important. So please keep us in your prayers as we raise our children, and we try to do a good job, and we try to love them, and just make sure they know they're loved. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for sharing in my good news. Don't forget to go get your freebies. Subscribe if you haven't. Love you all. Thank you. Bye.